Oh my word, the mishap last night turned out to be very good for us. The breakfast buffet is enormous and they have vegetable soup and loads of other options. The restaurant is quite large, so loads of people are staying here. Good morning everyone. Morning from damp, drizzly, cloudy, overcast Warsaw. Wasn't expecting this after the heat of Riga, but it rained all night last night. The forecast is not for rain anymore, but just overcast, and it should warm up by the afternoon. We just had a very nice breakfast. We're gonna go out in a bit. Looking forward to exploring Warsaw. This is the center of Warsaw. It's pretty cold, but still, where are all the tourists?
Na kartach strach zobaczyć więcej.
Kraków? I already asked you. Some of you, maybe you go after Warsaw. Kraków is a beautiful town. I have to admit that although I'm from Warsaw, and maybe you know that we don't like each other so much. When Zygmunt III moved his residence here, suddenly Kraków people don't like us. And they don't like us until today. One more original thing you can find on the other side of the road. Over there is a church, St. Anne's Church. I don't know. In the winter it's always warmer. In the summer it's always cooler. It's always drier. And also it's for free. We say that for about 200 years we got 11 kings, really 9 kings could live in this castle. So it was not a long-lasting, royal residence that you can find, for example, in Kraków. And the Basiliscus, yes, is living somewhere here in the basement, so you have to be very careful, unless you want to stay in Warsaw forever. You just always have to bring a shield, I know that you have it, or at least mirror, and then you can defeat the Basiliscus with its own weapon. And I'm telling you this story because, according to the legend, even when the Basiliscus is defeated, he will show up in next 100 years. So we don't know. Maybe he's still alive. Maybe not. Everyone who saw him is already a stone sculpture. So be careful. And if you go this way, you can already see the city walls that you can find there were rebuilt after the war because they were destroyed, but they were not destroyed during World War II. They were destroyed in the 1600s when we got long-lasting Polish-Swedish wars. Do you remember the story about the king from the columns, Sigismund III? Yeah, he wanted to be at the same time Polish and Swedish king. Sweden didn't like this idea because Sweden was a Protestant country. Poland was a Catholic country. So Catholic king should not be a king of Protestant country because he's going to convince Swedish people that they should be Catholics. Right? So there was a conflict between Catholics and Protestants. That's why we got long-lasting Polish-Swedish wars. Swedish army was actually here 3 times. Destroying, raping, stealing a lot of things. Of course, very easy it was for them to just take a lot of things on their boats in the river, and just take them to the Baltic Sea. Thanks to them, a lot of Polish masterpieces survived World War II. So it's a really great place with a history, as the mill bar is already open here in the 70s and 80s. I believe employees didn't change, so they will not speak English, because under communism, Polish people had to learn Russian. She's the only Nobel Prize winner. The 2 Nobel Prizes from two different categories: chemistry and physics. Polonium, because she knew that her country would be one day independent, right? Because Poland doesn't exist on the maps, but the name of the chemical element that everyone is going to use should remind people there is a nation, there are people who speak Polish, although they are part of Russia, although they are part of Austria, although they are part of Prussia. Because during Warsaw Uprising, we say there were about 200 weddings. So we say that 4 weddings a day. Those young people, not regular soldiers really, sometimes 17, 18, maybe 20 years old, they were saying like, there is no future for us, maybe we die tomorrow or today, we just have to say I do, we love each other. If you find a symbol like this, you will know what it means. P and W combined, they create a symbol, anchor, the symbol of hope. Letter P stands for Polska, Poland. W, walcząca, Poland's fighting. This symbol was painted everywhere by the Polish resistance, especially close to the Nazi institutions and houses, to inform them, don't feel welcome here, because we're still fighting. The Polish resistance is watching. Later, during Warsaw Uprising, letter B will stand for Powstanie, uprising, W, Warszawskie, Warsaw Uprising. Heart in a jar, full of good brandy, to make sure that his brother is already dead, because for sure without heart you can't be alive, even if you are Chopin. And then she takes the heart in a jar full of good brandy and then a thick Vaseline layer on the top, and the headdress, and she brings illegally the heart to Warsaw. And she brings the heart to the street where we started the tour. We started somewhere here, the suburbs of Kraków Street, to the Holy Cross Church, to the parish church of Chopin's family. So you can imagine very confused faces of Polish priests receiving the heart of Chopin in a jar, saying like, what we should do with it, Ludwika Chopin, you know, like, his life was not a saint life, you know, he was a normal man, you know, dating women, you know, and also a woman and her daughter, you know, because he was a romantic musician. Maybe not the best kind of example for the Catholic Church. That's why, first of all, I believe they put, I mean, this is what I know, they put the heart in the temple, in the tombs of the church, so not really like on the main altar. Nowadays you can find the heart in the pillar of the church. There will be information, here is Chopin's heart. I'm very sorry, you will not see the heart of Chopin. You had to be very, very lucky to see the heart, because you should be a scientist 5 years ago and you should be a Polish scientist, so even more difficult to be here, because they decided to check out if the heart is still in good shape after 150 years. And as you can imagine, they were very, very surprised as they found a very nicely pickled heart of Chopin, because there was good branding. So we have a nicely preserved Chopin's heart, and every story should give you a lesson, and this lesson Chopin says, like from his grave, drink more brandy, it's good for your heart, you know? Yeah, I believe so.
Can I have the
Mix?
Sure, mix, yeah. This one is vegetarian?
Mauritanian, yes, vegetarian. Half
Yeah.
cottage cheese and half
Yeah,
potato.
can I have one of these, please?
But this Mauritanian is cottage cheese and potatoes. This is only cottage cheese and buckwheat.
This one?
Cabbage and mushroom.
Yeah. And spinach and feta. And one with lentils, one with forest mushrooms, and one with
Champignons.
yeah. Can we have apple with raisins and cheese with vanilla?
Okay, it's fine.
It's
And
fine?
the topping, yes, it's fine.
Okay. So can I have the cold cheese sauce, please? Can we have this one, please? But not so much ice.
Mix of the dumplings.
Yeah.
And one lemonade of apple.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. We came back for a coffee break after all that walking in the town centre. Even though they provide a coffee maker, their coffee isn't really that good. So we just used the ones that we brought from home. Now we're going to go out and look at the night lights of Warsaw. And I've looked at a mall as well that looked interesting. This shopping center is so huge, we actually got lost and we had to go round and round before we found our car. We're going to go head back to the hotel now, get some shut-eye and do it all over again in the morning. See you in the morning. Good night. This church is visible from the city center, but it's quite a bit out of city center, so nobody really talks about it. It's quite a pretty church. You can see quite well from outside. That's the benefit of having a car, then you can drive around and see things which are outside of city center. So it's good night again from me for tonight. See you in the morning.